Okay. All right, we're gonna get started now. So if you haven't signed in already, please do so. And remember, signing in will add your name to a raffle at the end of the month. So the more times you sign in to our events, the more chances you'll get of winning a prize at the end of the month. So I'll give you all a couple seconds to do that. I think everyone's good, so we're just gonna get started. So as you know, today is the election speeches, and this week we're gonna be starting the voting process for our new board for the next year. And today's game plan, we're gonna start off with some announcements, and then we'll go into the speeches, and then we'll talk about the election voting form a little bit, all right? Sounds good? No. Okay. Some announcements before we start. As usual, help support our club. $15 a semester, you can become a VIP member. You'll get discounts on things like stoles, keychains, the sticker sheets. Planning on giving goodie bags to our VIP members at the end of the year for the banquet. And yeah, here's a form. I'm pretty sure all of you have filled it out already, so I'm not gonna wait. And then, yeah, this Friday we're gonna have our election celebration social in Building 6, Room 113. It's gonna be from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that's where our election results will be announced. So stop by to chill out and enjoy some free food, drinks, and some games. It's just gonna be more of a casual thing. We just kind of lay out all the games. Again, probably gonna bring a Switch again for us to play Smash. And yeah, if you're somebody who's running for a board position today, then we highly encourage you all to try and attend just so you see the results like right there, then and there, and maybe you can give a couple words to the club if you're elected. But yeah. And then, as I said last week, we're gonna have 4 more positions opening up next week. They are gonna be the historian, PR director, webmaster, and video editor. And these roles will be following an interview process rather than a presentation. The newly elected board are gonna be interviewing these candidates so that they get to choose who they work with for the next year. And yeah, so if you didn't run for any of these positions, then don't worry. These 4 are gonna be opening up next week. And then we have a very exciting announcement. Bronco Esports is actually collaborating with CPP Game Dev Club to bring you all a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament next Friday in Ursa Major from 2:30 to 5 p.m. And there's gonna be food, drinks, and prizes, and you're free to come and join as either a spectator or a competitor. And just to go into a little bit more detail about that, right now, we're planning on just having a maximum of 24 competitors, but this is subject to change depending on how much supplies we have, like switches and monitors for the event. So we might unfortunately have to end up like lowering it to maybe 16 if we don't have enough, switches for people to play on. It just depends on what we have. And then signups are a first come, first serve basis. And if you're a VIP member of this club, then you're gonna be having priority over the general members. And even if you plan on being just a spectator, we ask that you please fill out the sign up form just so that we get a number of how many people are planning to go so we can plan accordingly. And some more details, controllers will not be provided unless people have extras that they're willing to lend out to other people. So if you're planning on being a competitor, please bring your own. And this is pretty important, if you're willing to volunteer your own Switch or monitor or GameCube adapters or any other kind of supplies that might be useful to the tournament, we would really, really appreciate that. We're kind of in desperate need of them. We're all, us people who are organizing it, we're all just a bunch of students just like you, so we don't have some magic random stock of like switches and monitors lying around. We're just using our own personal stuff. And as of right now, we are not sure if that's gonna be enough to fit a 24 people tournament in like 2.5 hours. So if you have any that you're willing to lend to us, we would really, really appreciate that. I think the biggest things we're lacking right now are monitors and switches and GameCube controller adapters. But anything else that you might think would be useful would be really appreciated as well. And if you're willing to lend any supplies, then please mention it in the form that I'm gonna bring up in a second. And last but not least, if you're a VIP member of the Game Dev Club and you sign up and show up to the tournament next Friday, you'll also be getting a free pack of Animal Crossing amiibo cards. Very important, you must fill out the sign up form and be a VIP member. I don't know where that music's coming from, but
the soundboard open?
I thought we had it turned off, but whatever. Yeah, you have to fill out the sign up form if you want to receive this perk, just because we only buy enough that we need for like however many people signed up. So if you show up and say, "Oh, I'm a VIP member," but you didn't sign up the form, then we can't provide you one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, any questions? Okay. And then here is the sign up form for anybody who's interested. I'm gonna leave this up here for a few seconds, but we'll also be sending it out on Discord as well later. All right, now let's jump into the speeches. And we're just gonna jump right in and start with Joshua Lai.
My fellow game deviants, this past year you've gotten to know me as your treasurer the same way I've gotten to know you. I've handled your money very well and very cautiously. Melvin knows this, and I've listened to everything that Melvin's told me to do, just like a good treasurer would. And I've gotten to know your troubles, your triumphs, your tribulations, and your hopes and aspirations, which is why I believe that next... Just kidding, I'm graduating. Sorry guys. Okay, Aiden, your turn.
All right, first up we got Aiden Sanders, so.
All right, so hello guys, my name is Aiden Sanders, and this is my very not last minute presentation on why I should be your president for the 2024-2025 school year. So some background info about me. I am currently a third-year computer science major. I'm also the current webmaster for the club, for the website that no one visits. And even if people did visit it, it's literally just a worse version of Discord. Like a website, Discord itself is a website. So having a website that does less than the other website is just not. Anyway, webmaster is a valuable role. Of course, you can still apply or for the interview. Another thing is I really enjoy playing and making video games. As like many of you, I've been playing lots of games since I was a kid, all different kinds. I enjoy Pokemon, the Elder Scrolls series, like Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Online, even though most people hate that. I like Minecraft, I like my game, not biased. Some other games that I worked on are also kind of cool, but they're not finished yet, so I'm not going to talk about them. Dishonorable mention, a certain game that people might see me play on Discord. Not actually the case. So I will bring this up. This will be coming up later, but I'll just allow. Thank you. I got a mouse now. These are just some images of the games. Not important. So my background: I've been formally making games for about 5 years. I started with Unreal Engine back in about junior year of high school when I got my first gaming computer that could actually run anything more challenging to run than like I don't know. Anything that can run Unreal Engine, really. I've been making games, quote unquote, for over 10 years. When I was a little kid, I was a really big fan of Little Big Planet and other games that were like proper games by themselves, but also provided a great degree of freedom. So I would love to like build levels in Little Big Planet. I also really like Minecraft. I played a lot of Halo, but 90% of that time was Halo Forge, and the last 10% was like actually playing Halo. Halo Forge is like creative mode for Halo, for those who don't know. Yeah, started with Unreal Engine, already mentioned that. It's a good engine if you can figure out how to use it. It is a little tricky, but once you kind of get over that like initial difficulty curve, it just makes so much sense. I'm pretty good at Blender. I started with Blender around the same time I started with Unreal Engine, just because I wanted to be able to do my own modeling, animating, weight painting, all that. So I learned all those skills. I am not the best at it, especially compared to other people in the club. This club has some very talented people when it comes to Blender as well as other programs, but I can hold my own. I can use it, and I know what I'm talking about to an extent. I'm, like I said, again, very comfortable with Unreal Engine. I can use Unity. I'm not the best. Again, better people in here at me than Unity, but I can use it. And part of the reason I don't even bother to get that good at it, because it just, like, the more I learn about Unity, the more it just feels like a worse version of an Unreal. Like, with the only benefit being that you can run it on like a potato and it will still work. So why would I run for president and the other positions I believe I also clicked on? I know why Melvin didn't, and I kept that in my mind while I was applying, and I decided to do it anyway. But it's not exactly like cherry picking, just sitting in as a president, you can't just like not do your role properly. Not that anyone I'm saying anyone doesn't, but like you have to actually like be committed to the role. So I ultimately decided to do it. So I believe in the club's values and aspirations. I think the club is a great place for people with like-minded both backgrounds as well as aspirations to kind of gather and kind of pull their skills together, because you will not find like the omnipotent like game developer. You won't find someone who's like absolutely amazing with Blender and absolutely amazing with, you know, both modeling and rigging armatures and animating those armatures once they're rigged, and then also good at like, you know, weight painting as well as all the other things that go into like, for example, doing just a character model. And that's very different from like environmental design and all the other things. And then that's different from music and level design and like the actual coding part. Like you will not find someone who can do it all and do it all as well as like anyone else in the room, you know. That's just not gonna happen. So I think the club is a great space for kind of pooling all those skills together so that we can like make games even if we're not like the best at like certain skills that are required for game design. As well, I feel like we're also a very supportive club. Like we don't really shut down ideas. We try to help you guys like make realistic goals and then work towards them and achieve them. But we don't really say like, oh, you have to make these kind of games, or we don't really like try to control what you do. I'm also running because I have the skills and experiences I believe that a president should have. As I previously mentioned, I'm very comfortable with like both game knowledge in general, but as well as like game design. Like because I've been like working on my own solo projects and done some group projects with the club and outside the club, I'm like pretty comfortable in navigating all these various environments. One thing I haven't mentioned before is also like GIMP, because I personally use GIMP to make normal maps for textures. I really like to like make procedural textures in Blender, and then just use a camera to take a picture of them, and then use GIMP to generate a normal map for them, and boom, I've just made a texture for my game. I didn't have to go to an online texture website, royalty free or not. I didn't have to, you know, do anything like that. I'm just able to make my own stuff with the open source tools that I have at my disposal and whatnot. I think that's important for, you know, being a part of like the executive board of the club. But I've also done some of the as like a board member currently. I've also done a lot of the other like more administrative stuff that the club requires to be done. Like a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes in order to run the club, and because I've been able to see it in like my fellow board members, as well as being able to like actually hands-on do some of these things, I also have that work experience that I think is important for running for these positions. And I've also more or less enjoyed my time being on board. Like I said, it's not like a walk in the park where you just kind of just like sit there and do nothing and show up to meetings. You still have to do work when, you know, the club is not meeting, and plan for things like weeks or months in advance. But I've enjoyed it so far. I think it's also a valuable endeavor just because I'm able to do my best to support you guys in making your games and whatnot. More experiences that I've had. Again, board member, I understand. I think I just talked about all of this. Yeah, I did. So goals. Honestly, I think the club's already in a good spot. I know on the forum it said, what are some goals you have if you are running for these positions? I think the club is actually more or less where it needs to be. Like there aren't any critical failures of the club at the present moment. However, there are some things that I think can be done a little better, but we've kind of been working on them this like last semester as well as this semester. So I'll talk about those in the next slide, but in general, I think the main focus should just be keeping the club going strong, just continuing to support you guys with your stuff, and making sure you fill out forms and stuff on time so this club actually exists. So the improvements previously mentioned. Some of these ideas have already been partially implemented because I've whispered into Melvin's ear certain ideas that may or may not have happened. So the sign-in sheet, participation incentives were one of the things I knew other clubs did, and I was thinking about maybe we should do them for this club. I asked Melvin, obviously he has the final say in whether it happened or not, and he actually agreed with me. So we did that. Obviously we're still trying it out. We've only done 1 month of rewards so far, so we'll still have to like fine tune how it works and whatnot and see if the club actually likes it. And if you guys hate it, we can just stop. But it's literally free stuff, so I don't know why you'd hate getting free stuff. This is not exclusive to me. You guys mentioned it in the last forum at the end of the last semester, but one thing I noticed is that a lot of times game pitch teams, unless they're like a friend group before doing the game pitch, they're not really like they don't have like that kind of, they don't mesh together, like know each other that well sometimes. So like sometimes for like our presentations at our banquet last semester, people would like call up their friends and they'll be like, oh yeah, anyone else who was working on the presentation, come up. I don't know your names or whatever. And like I kind of want to avoid those kind of situations where like you work on a game pitch, but you don't get that like teamwork and like experience of being part of that team. So I was trying to work on making more like socials and other social environments where you guys interact with each other, especially with your game pitch teams. I know it's not going to always work because people are busy and whatnot, but just trying to really encourage the interactability between people, just so that everyone knows each other. I know in the past I've joined game pitches where I've only talked to the team lead like a couple of times, and I'd put out work, and they knew who I was at the very least because I've been communicating. But like I imagine it's really easy to slip through the cracks in some of those larger teams and whatnot, and I want to avoid that. So my commitment to the club, yeah. That's all there is to say. Second thing, the thing I mentioned before. We talk a lot about game design, everything you need to make a good game. Good level design, good character design, good stories, good writing. Obviously, don't put too much financial requirements on starting a game. Like, don't make a little indie game and charge like $70 for it, like it's a AAA game. Not a good idea. However, none of that matters. All you have to do is make attractive people and people will buy them. That's all you have to do. That's all that matters. Anyway, that's it. Any questions?
Solomon's gonna have a field day.
Any questions? Not about this, just about in general. Like questions about me, questions about why I've chosen to become president, just questions in general about anything at all. I guess you could ask me about this, but I don't want to talk about this. It's just that just by being online, you'll see the way other people behave when they believe they're in a safe space. However, I do not encourage the kind of activities that they get up to. I just enjoy the story. People enjoy things that are not at all related to the story. Oh yeah, Slim is not gonna like this, but that's not my problem.
He's got no idea what's coming. It's not here.
Anyway, I assume there's no questions, so I'm going to end my presentation there. I hope I didn't take too much time, because I don't know how many people are running. Oh, wait, is that a question in the back? Or, no? Oh. Okay, just kidding. All right, I guess I'm going to step away now.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Wonderful presentation.
Yes.
Bunched it up.
All right. Next up on the chopping block, we got good old loading. And I'm just gonna. Bill Lee, get up here, buddy.
I do. You can try.
No, I can't do that.
All right.
It's your speech.
All right. So I'm Bill. I'm running for treasurer. So, a bit of information about me. I'm a third-year computer science major. I've been in the club for 2 years. But although during that time, I haven't really started, or I haven't made any games until this semester. So I don't think I have as much experience in that as any of the other candidates. But I still hope to contribute to the club. I like playing games. I didn't get to play much games when I was younger, but ever since I got my own laptop, I've been playing a lot of games. Anime and manga are also cool, and also I'm a recovered League player. And these are some of my favorite shows/franchises, like with One Piece, Fate, got into Dark Souls last year, and Destiny 2. I put too much time into that game. But we could talk about it if you want to. Why I think I have the skills to be a treasurer. I like looking at and reading spreadsheets, and I'm very good at tracking resources such as money. And for example, I have a spreadsheet made to track all my personal and hobby expenses. And also, I can get my work done if I need to get it done, even if I hate it, like in CS 3070 with Smeller. Now, as for what I want to do with the club or improvements to the club, I think the club isn't in a really good place after being here for 2 years, and I can't really think of much improvements I want to make to it. But I do think we should have more socials or member bonding events or like member bonding activities during meetings. Like, we didn't really do as many of them last semester, mainly because of what's it called? We invited a lot of people to come do talks, but I think I want us to do that more so that more members can interact with other people in the club, because I realize, or even from my experience, I don't know over half the club. And also, prizes are cool. I think we can also do those for any like small competition activities we do in the club. And club merch, and I think we can do some more club merch. The stickers and keychains that we started this semester or this school year is a good idea, and we did hats for the last year. I think we can do something else for next year as well, or maybe even like Vicky Des merch. And to end it off, I am not a Genshin player like a certain someone in the club right now. So I promise I will not embezzle any club funds. I assure you, there will be no money laundering going on in this club. Don't worry about that. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Let's see. Next up. Sir Blaze It.
Oh, blazing.
Get up here.
No, you're spoiling the whole slide.
Oh, shoot.
You animal. I'm saying hi to Solomon from here because he's not in the voice chat, but he's going to be editing this. Hi, guys. It's me, Dachi. I'm sure majority of you know me already, and I'm actually probably sick of seeing this face everywhere. I'm applying for secretary for next year, officially endorsed by Larry Sands. So, again, like I said, it's me, the man, the myth, the legend. The one freaking face you keep seeing in Discord all the damn time and you wish it would stop already. But, yeah, again, I'm running for secretary. I'm a former Gunslinger Hilda developer. I wear that badge with pride. I worked on the enemy health bars, that's about it. Currently, I'm leading Heathen, a project that I'm actually really liking how it's going so far, but I wish I could do a better job of leading. And as you know, if you've been around, I really like to do art. I draw from time to time when I have time. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's so much work to do here. I play the Yakuza games a lot, and I actually mod these games, so I have some experience looking around and doing some things more than just mashing buttons in a way that's satisfying. And I also like all the From Software games. I'm sure you guys seen me go on tangents about Dark Souls. It's you already know. Aside from this, I'm incredibly passionate about this club. I joined up last semester. I initially wanted to join up in freshman year. I believe I walked up during tabling. I don't know who I talked to, and I don't know if they remember me either. But, you know, I got my sticker. I was like, yeah, I really want to do this. This is cool. And then I never joined up because I got cold feet. So I was like, screw it. I'll start off with a bang. So I joined up, and I met a bunch of cool people here. And I've been inspired to basically do this. And so far, I've been incredibly committed. I've been trying to do a little bit more things outside of my jurisdiction as a general member. Let's just put it that way.
We don't have to talk about that.
Are you sure? Are you
It's
sure?
off the books.
It's off the books. Well, no, I mean, like, just helping out wherever I can as a general member. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Right? There's my striking chin. So currently the experience I have is I actually used to be a former game club president in high school for my senior year. It was a bit rough coming out of COVID, trying to do all this, especially because I was new to leadership positions that I try to avoid all the time. I have experience with planning, scheduling, and hosting events, which is pretty good for secretary because they get to do at least half of that. Back in high school, I had to like get this whole consensus of everyone who was in the game club and be like, okay, who wants to do what? And eventually we ended up hosting a school-wide CSGO tournament, which was relatively decent, actually. I'm also experienced with advertising said events, so secretaries send out newsletters, right? I could probably write up a really nice email and with a good graphic to go with it. And also my experience is I'm the current Heathen team lead. Organization and giving people things to do or doing certain things on time is a difficult task, which I'm trying to constantly improve at, but it is a very important thing to do and also probably a backbone of this club. So my goal is to help keep this club running in a great way because the current board has given us a pretty great place to be at. So I want to carry on in that theme. And it seems like based on the last two presentations we got from our last two candidates, we all have the same idea. We really want to bring our community together. I want to get to know the members more because even though I have a couple friend groups scattered around here and there, I want to talk to more people, get to know more of them, and more importantly, bridge the clusters between people because people tend to stick around in their own game dev teams and they don't even know half their own game dev teams. That's also the case for me. There's some people I haven't even seen the faces of, which I feel really bad about. So I want to meet everyone and hopefully as a secretary I can help whatever our next president would be to achieve this goal. And primarily gain more experience related to this position because I've shied away from leadership spots mainly because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this work, but again, I'm passionate about this club, so I'm going to shoot for something relatively easier to manage first. And then we'll look for higher things to do. Special thanks to the current board. These guys are awesome. They've motivated me. They've inspired me to run and do all these things. They've really made this club a welcoming experience for myself. So, again, I feel obligated to carry on in their stead. Vote me as your secretary. Thank you for your time. Rest in peace, the old secretary, Robert Secretary Rennet. Forever lost, stuck in the room. Your secretaryism will be sorely missed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dachi.
Wait, hold on, Bill. I forgot to take pictures of your presentation. You want to get up here?
Oh yeah, come on.
I haven't bought any of them.
Yeah. You just don't have access to the club.
All right,
Yeah.
Don't talk about that.
Mr. Banui.
What?
Banui.
The newbie.
So I'm Mark. I'm running for Game Dev Club president. So a little bit about who I am. I'm a third-year computer science major. I'm also a transfer student, so I've only been here for since last semester. So I'm a little bit new to Cal Poly Pomona, but I think that should be okay. I was actually born in the 1900s, so I'm just have access to that ancient knowledge that the others do. Maybe like Celine or some of the old ex-board members. I'm also an avid gamer. I've been technically gaming for well over 20 years now. Just barely. And I'm currently the team lead for Machine Citadel, my Unreal Engine project. And for the rest of this presentation, I'm going to do a face reveal, just like the greats. That way everybody can actually hear me for once. And so since I'm, in the game dev, the reason is that because, I've been growing up playing games. I have a lot of the games that kind of been meaningful to me over the years. Every couple years have their games, right? So a lot of these games I kind of built the kind of creative ideas that I had. Games like Terraria or Valheim or Minecraft I played a lot. And just like Aiden, I put probably 90% of my childhood hours from games into Halo Forge. So even back then I was kind of developing at least maps to play games on. Let's see here. As for some of the other influences throughout my life, kind of just from the anime side, I kind of grew up watching things like Trigun, so I have kind of like that love and peace installed into me, kind of like, let's see here. Try to do right by like others and everything like that. And then you have things like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Mob Psycho, to where like your abilities don't really define you. It's kind of like what you're gonna do. Even if like say you're really good at math, doesn't mean you can't be an artist or something like that, right? You don't have to just do what you're good at, and you don't have to do, something that you're bad at either. So the games I've worked on for now is Block Toss as map design, which still waiting for the re-release with the extra maps. Currently, I'm working on Machine Citadel, and then I also have a bunny puzzle game in development that's just kind of like my own solo project. So for game dev president, here are going to be my vision and goals. So kind of a big thing that happened, at least this semester, the club grew really big in size to the point where like the first, I don't know, half of the meetings of last semester, nobody even fit in this room. We had people sitting in the hallway. Yeah. Right. So I want to be able to kind of create a community to where everybody, at least for a club this size, to be able to all have their place and not be left out. And since there's so many people, that's a lot of opportunities to make new friends. So I want to be able to have more of a social environment, at least in between some of the other stuff, to make sure we can at least all get to know each other. And kind of trick everybody into learning at the same time, since, there's a lot of aspects to game development, and there's a lot of opportunities to learn maybe new things. Maybe you thought you really wanted to program, but maybe you might recently discover a passion for environmental design or something like that. Because, there's a lot of aspects for that. So some more specifics for like the club activities to kind of achieve those goals. A lot of times like we have like little hangouts in the game club Discord, right? But most of the time we have like half the people are playing Overwatch, half the people are playing like Risk of Rain, and other people are vibing. So I kind of want to try to organize more events to where we can actually all play together. So kind of games like Among Us, we bring that back, right? And I don't know, things like Gary's Mod or something, to where it's cheap and a ton of people can jump in and just play something fun. And one of the biggest things I would kind of like to do as a president is implement a year-long project that's open to all members. So say, you joined last semester and, Gunslinger Hilda and other games just weren't kind of your vibe, right? And you don't really want to lead a team either. Well, this is where my year-long game for led by the board would come in, to where I'm going to nickname it as Feature Creep, the game, to where anybody can add their own features. Say you wanted to kind of work on a movement system for a game, but you don't have an idea for a game. Well, just make a Des have an advanced movement system, do backflips or whatever. Or say you really like Pro Skater. Well, now you can have Des playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater in whatever this kind of mishmash of game could be. So there's always kind of going to have the opportunity to collaboratively work with others. And then just more socials, since everybody else already spoke on it, but like last semester we had a lot of speakers and not really getting to know each other. So while that's kind of like a nice learning environment, this is kind of supposed to be a club and not a class, right? So I want to be able to make sure that we can all enjoy the things that we're all collectively passionate about. And another thing I'd like to implement as a president is kind of an asset library made by club members for club members, to where, maybe you want to make your own solo game, but you don't really have the tools to do it. Say you're just a programmer, well, you don't have any art assets, right? Well, that's where people, either can add some assets from the game's pitches that they made, they'd like to kind of share their work around. Maybe more Larry Eggs in all of our games. And aside from that, I also have some more other ideas for more workshops, kind of like maybe Steam Publishing Workshop. As you know, Escargot, otherwise known as Solar Sweets, they plan on publishing their game to Steam. I was thinking we could maybe even do like a small, like at the end of the semester, we could do like a small competition to see between members who would like to publish their game eventually, because that does cost money to put it on Steam, right? And we, through that competition, we might be able to have those funds allocated to publishing one game a semester, or maybe one game a year, and then we can retroactively make a workshop out of that. So everybody in the club will be able to learn and experience being able to publish to Steam. And some of the other parts of my vision is continue the club engagement that I guess Aiden has started. Unfortunately, that's my competition. To where we'll have more prizes based on attendance to really kind of like keep that retention. As you can see, this class is now half full, which is kind of, it's going downhill. And occasional study sessions to where instead of just looking at like how to make games, we can kind of look at what games work. Kind of, I think the point of Bill, to where or was it Aiden? You know, looking at Genshin Impact. Why does that work, and why do other games don't work? Why does everybody playing Genshin Impact? That's not. I don't know if that's healthy. But we can learn to implement those things into our games. So, you know, more gotchas. And try to organize more game studio tours, kind of get stuff off campus, something that's, you know, fun and, you know, educational to all of us. And kind of like maybe a little competition. So, you know, right after game pitch, you know, Dachi was mentioning that we don't really have a way to get to know our our game teams. So I was thinking of putting something like maybe a week or two after everybody's decided, everybody's joined their game pitch, to just do some like little event. Like maybe we'll do like rent a Minecraft server out or something, and you know, just have like a little competition so everybody can get to know each other. They can all work together in a way that's not just building the game, so that way they can actually get to know each other. And for fundraising for the club, I had a couple ideas. Give more of the VIP benefits, you know, always trying to get more money for the club. So I was thinking we can add maybe, you know, we've got plenty of slots for the Discord. We can add more custom emojis. And I was thinking of adding a free gacha pool for anybody who joins as a VIP member. I've got a lot of stuff I can give away, you know, so I can go ahead and organize that. Other fun policies of what I would actually do as president, which our current administration is lacking. We need to actually make the lore document. It's been far too long. It's been stuck in development hell. It needs to get done. Otherwise, you know, bring back soundboard. Aside from meeting Jen, because you gotta, you know, it's gonna be chaos if we like that. We already had one mishap earlier. I don't know, but you gotta watch those previous board members. And all member disputes, whether it be game leads or otherwise, will be now solved in one-on-one combat in a game chosen by the board. And so why me? Well, I'll take the time to kind of make sure that everybody in the board is comfortable in their roles. I have a little bit of past experience in this, to where I organized a lot of stuff for esports, because I used to be in an esports team for community college and even before that. And where kind of a leadership role fell upon me because the people who were supposed to be organizing the events and tournaments and scheduling us for that were found lacking, I guess. And aside from that, I want to like really make sure everybody, you know, 50 plus people can all feel that GDC is kind of their home, kind of like the club to be in, you know. Make sure nobody leaves us for Science Council or, I don't know, stuff like that. No more esports, no more Science Council, just Game Dev Club, you know. Be here. And lastly, I don't know if the other president can handle this, but I think I can actually handle other board members like Dachi. You know, I think the next administration is going to have a little bit of, what's the word? I don't know. It's going to be a little bit chaotic. I'm going to have to be able to scheduleize and organize that chaos into something productive. And I think I can actually do that.
What do you mean? I can be trusted perfectly.
The fact that you felt you needed to make that statement.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And us? All right. Yeah, okay. And so lastly, I think I've contributed a lot to this club so far, and I think I can continue doing that. I've tried to make sure all these bits I've done over the last semester continues, and to where everybody can feel like they're having fun in the club. And thank you for your time and consideration.
All right, thank you, Mark. The face reveal was great. All right, Isabel. She's on Discord.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Regrettably, I could not be in here in person today, but I would still like to present.
All right.
Head crabs.
Yes, I'm the head crab. So, hello, my name's Isabel. I'm going to be running for treasurer and secretary. So about me, I'm a first-year computer science major. I'm also a science, tech, and society minor, which literally no one has heard of. But I've been part of this club for 2 semesters, so basically a year, and I've worked on 2 pitches so far. I really like programming in Godot. I like editing scripts for games and short films, 3D modeling, and writing shaders, kind of. Anyone who's written shaders knows what I mean. Outside of computer science, I like gardening, baking, thrifting, collecting minerals, and playing the same 3 games over and over again. Oh, yeah, I like collecting minerals. So why though? Excuse me. I'm running for treasurer and secretary, like I mentioned before. Forgive me for getting sentimental for a moment, but I really appreciate what this club is doing. I really want to help other people discover it. Last semester, I had no idea what I was doing. I went into it was my first year of college. I'm like, or my first semester of college. I'm like, oh my god, I hate this. But being in this club has helped me meet a lot of cool people. It's challenged me as a leader, and I feel like joining the board is going to be my next step into helping not myself grow and learn, but others as well, and helping others discover this club. So my experience, I forgot to mention, along with this, I will get to this in a minute, but I also do Godot engine, Blender, some Unity. I've modded the Source engine. By the way, if you're thinking of doing that, don't do it. It's not worth it. 2 Ludum Dare game jams. They're like games you make in like there's been a game jam before, but games you make within like a weekend. I have 3 current works in progress, one of which I'm going to be pitching next semester, so I'm excited for that. And 2 game pitches. I've worked on Vertex and Popcorn Teeth, but I'd like to expand on Vertex for a moment. I'm the current programming team lead and co-writer for both last semester and this semester. I've delegated tasks to a team of programmers, which I could have done better, but I'm learning. I've scheduled team meetings, collaborated with the fellow team leads, and presented and executed a minimum viable product for Vertex. I'm really proud of the work that I've done on Vertex, and I would really like to work on more game pitches and bring the skills that I've learned from working on Vertex to the board. This is some other experience. I swear I did not peak in high school, but here are some things I've done in high school. I was the treasurer for my school's local computer science honor society chapter and a community workshop community chair. So basically it's like a society dedicated to helping people in your community learn computer science skills like coding and stuff like that. So I led a team to develop coding workshops for elementary and middle school students nearby. I documented some funds and grants and prepared materials needed for workshops or purchase. And I presented at the 2023 National Computer Science Honor Society Leadership Summit. That's a link. I don't know if you want to click it. If not, that's fine.
Let's take a peek.
Take a peek. Yeah, so if you squint very so slightly, I am there. But yeah, I presented a workshop on making, yeah. I presented a workshop on theming workshops and making workshops that are engaging to students so that they can get more excited about learning computer science, especially in communities where there's a lot less representation in computer science. Along with that, I was a professional yapper, or a Los Angeles Debate League competitor and current judge. So we engage in academic debate about policy topics, just arguing basically, but academically. So I've developed some public speaking and critical thinking skills. I used to struggle a lot with public speaking, but debate made it so much easier because, you know, I got to learn how to fight with people in a professional way. I have currently observed debates and gave an evaluation based on performance. This is relevant because I'm running for secretary, and being both a debate competitor and a judge requires a lot of attention to detail and a lot of listening skills in order to write down effective arguments. So I believe I can apply these skills really well to being a secretary. Here are some goals, not both for my own personal goals and my goals for the club. Become more involved. I've really enjoyed being a developer in this club, and I really want to help run it and provide my own insight, both from a member standpoint and as a board member standpoint. I also want to develop my leadership skills, not just in pitches and beyond, and I also want other people to help develop their leadership skills so they can apply those to their life after college. And lastly, I want to help others discover this community. I really, like I mentioned, I want to help run this club, continue running, because it helped me find a community, and I really want others to help find it as well. That being said, I love the way that this club is being run, but I think there are some things that I would improve. Notably, I feel like, I know everyone else already said it, but I feel like there could be more connections between pitches. I feel like each pitch is kind of its own island. Like I know maybe I know a few people in this club, but I could definitely know more. So it'd be cool if people from different pitches can interact a little bit more. Maybe by both by, you know, normal social interactions, but also by maybe providing input and critiques on each other's games. Or even having like development sessions. So overall just means for people in the club to get to know each other better. How committed am I to this club? I've put a lot of time into this club, and I am very willing to put in more because like I said, I love what this club does, and wants a few more all-nighters. And that'll be all. Thank you for listening, and I wish the other candidates luck.
All right. Oh, let me out of here. All right. Fantastic. And then we got Amaya.
Yeah.
All right.
You can start in the middle.
All right. Here, I'll let you.
Okay, thank you. Hi guys, I'm Erin. And you guys should vote me for secretary for next school year. So that's the image of me and my baby Kira. So about me, I'm a third-year transfer. I'm an artist. I love drawing so much. I've been doing art for since second grade. And I'm a gamer. I love Overwatch, visual novels, a lot of other shooting games too. Baldur's Gate 2, yeah, that's really good. And why I want to be a secretary. I love this club. It keeps me committed going to school, to be honest, because the workload is just, oh my gosh, terrible. But I'm handling it. And I want to be more involved. I haven't really taken any leadership roles except team lead or my previous job. But I think this would be a great opportunity. Okay, and I'm responsible. I like planning things out. With Popcorn Teeth, I have a whole document planned out of what the team needs to do so we can be prepared and organized. So I think I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty proud of the progress we have so far for the game, so I think it's all good. Yeah, I mentioned the team lead experience, so that's that. And my previous job was being a lunch lady. So what I did was serve food and did chores that I was told to do, so I'm pretty good at doing things what people want me to do. And I'm also good at teaching new employees how to do certain tasks with the chores. So yeah, I think that's good experience. My goals as your secretary, again, I wish to gain experience because I don't think being a lunch lady is enough, or being a team lead, so that would be great. Make more friends. I made some friends from this club already, but I would love to make more and know you guys some more. So that's awesome. And I know it'll be a challenge because I have some trouble with speaking, but I think I'm getting better and being more social, yeah. And for goals for the club, I also plan on holding more social events too. I know you guys mentioned being more social with your club members and team members. I think that's an awesome idea. And yeah, I wish to implement that more too. Oh, sorry. And by doing that, I was thinking of holding more art workshops. I think it's a bit lacking in this club. So maybe tutorials on how to do certain things. I would love to lead those if possible. And maybe even art contests for the club. I think that'll be fun and encourage more artists to show off their work because I really like your guys' artwork in the Discord art channel. My dedication, I've been showing up a lot to a lot of the meetings, so, and I promise I'll meet deadlines, and I want to improve the club in any way I can. So I hope you guys will have me as your secretary. And that's it. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, Amaya. And last but not least, we got Mr. Norman.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We're running short on time, so I'm going to try and go pretty fast. It is what it is. So my name is obviously Ian Norman. I'm going to be running for both secretary and treasurer. So just a quick recap of who I am. Been playing games since I was like 7 years old. COD 4 on the Xbox 360. Probably not a game for a 7-year-old, but you know, my big brother did what he did. I've been interested in developing games since my teen years. I got into it because of Team Mod Loader with Terraria. And I'm currently a 4th-year computer science major, transferred in from Citrus College 2 years ago. Can't go over all of these games, obviously. I have a lot of favorites. It's kind of hard to pick when you play games as much as I do. Yep. Bloons is awesome. So here's my history with the Game Dev Club. I joined, back in fall semester 2022. It's kind of a common story of you join, you maybe like decide, oh, okay, I'll sign up for it, and then like you don't show up to anything because you're kind of like a little scared in your little social shell. But then I began to actively participate like the next semester, and that really helped me kind of come out of my shell. And I've been actively involved in a lot of the club activities in every semester, socials and that sort of thing. And then the game pitches that I was involved with was Impact Miner as a Shid Inc. Employer, Gunslinger Hilda, and Ball Busters. Obviously that logo is pending. Just a quick little experience of why I have, this board position, like the reason to vote for me. I have some leadership roles in terms of like school. I've taken on a lot of project leadership roles, like VR lab, that sort of stuff. I usually step forward, come up with my ideas, and then sort of have people do work. I currently work as a student assistant at BioTrek, and I'm also involved with the club at BioTrek as the treasurer. It kind of has a lot of leadership involved with it. Treasurer, it's kind of like a treasurer, but also I do some secretary stuff in terms of what this club roles are, where I'm like setting things up, organizing events, paying for stuff, all that sort of stuff. And then I've been involved with the previous 3 game pitches. Why I am running for these 2 roles. BioTrek as a treasurer, like I said, it's similar to both secretary and treasurer. I have experience in both of those roles, so it's obviously going to be run a little bit differently in this club, but I do have an understanding of how, as a backbone, how things kind of work. The reason why I didn't run for the presidential position, I don't really know how this club works specifically, and I don't really want to botch things up for everybody. What I can offer is, as myself, I'm pretty confident and knowledgeable, and I like to support further growth of this club because I love what this club does. I have some background in behind the scenes club activities, and I'm a quick learner. I can adapt to situations when need be, which is always important when it comes to scheduling things. Goals and improvements for the club. As an executive board member, I kind of want to work on the social and club thing. It's already been talked about a bunch of times, but it's not just like the socials that we have on Fridays and that sort of thing, but also having things happen between pitch leads and pitch groups and that sort of stuff, and promoting more fun activities. Whatever the second point. Another change for the club that I can see as important is moving kind of beyond CS. Obviously, we're not just a CS club, but let's be real, 98% of us are CS majors. So outreaching to more art and other majors so that they can kind of learn that game development isn't just about coding, and it's much more to that than that, and art and music, and even just having knowledge in things like plants or architecture can be very valuable when you're developing a game. And obviously improving, it's already in a fantastic spot, but there's always improvements that can probably be made with team check-ins and outreach to team leads to make sure that they are feeling comfortable with what they're doing, people in their groups, and that sort of stuff. So final thoughts, I love this club, it's amazing. I want to be a part of it in a bigger and more important role to help improve it and grow, because the social environments that we promote and the work that we do, I think is amazing. And I have the leadership experience, I'm pretty sure I would nail any of those 2 roles. And yeah, thank you guys for your time. And yeah.
Okay, super sorry for everybody for going overtime. I did not think it was necessary to time everything because we only had 7 people, but I guess you all had a lot to say, so yeah, really sorry for that, especially the last few people who presented. We'll keep better track of that next time, but yeah, here's the election voting form, so you all can put in your votes by Friday, 12 p.m., which is noon. So that's like right before the election social. If you're going for a position right now, then you're not allowed to vote for that position that you're going for. You could only vote for everybody else. And then last but not least, I just want to say everybody here, definitely all 7 of you are really good. You all seem really, really qualified. But I think unfortunately, as you all know, right now there's only 4 positions open, and there's 7 of you running for them, meaning that more than likely the 3 of you aren't going to get the position you're running for. But don't worry, if you still want to be on board, we still have those 4 other positions opening up next week. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get the position right now. So yeah, keep that in mind. Like I said, you're all super qualified. It's just a lot of really good competition this week. But yeah, I don't want to keep you all any longer. Last chance to vote, Friday, 12 p.m. Here's the last 4 positions. And then, yeah, here's a sign-in sheet. Thanks for listening. Thank you, everyone.